Hi, I'm Patty Aubery, past president of Chicken Soup for the Soul book series and current president of the Canfield Training Group, and you're watching The Strip Live.
I am so thrilled and honored to be standing here to Patty Aubery, who is one of the keynote speakers here at CEO Space. And Patty, let me tell you, this was not a session, this was not a workshop, this was a therapy session for me. It was incredible to see how many people were sharing their stories. So first, welcome and tell me what your experience has been here at CEO Space.
Well, it's always amazing here. I mean, it's such a family, and I've been here for a long time. I've been doing this for about 20 years. Actually, the last time I was in CEO Space, I was a student in 1991. So for me, it's kind of like coming full circle, and I knew that this was being a reunion weekend, that I really wanted to come and support Bernie, because it's really what happens at CEO Space. You know, we have these big dreams, and sometimes they're not so easy to accomplish. And I think that we need to have our friends support us. So when he called and said, hey, you want to come up, I couldn't say no. You know, it's like, how do you say no to that?
I think one of the key things in your session was about really achieving big dreams. And the first and foremost is people are afraid to have their big dreams. But secondly, what I witnessed today was actually vocalizing and verbalizing that to someone. So talk to me about having big dreams and actually wanting to go after it and pursuing it without the fear.
Well, I think that we always have fear. You know, we're going to. It's natural. And whenever we're doing something different that we've not done before, it's scary. And we had to learn to walk. We had to learn to talk. We had to learn to read. We had to learn to drive. I mean, all those things. It's the same thing, especially when it's for ourselves, because so many people and so often have worked for other people, have done things for others. But when it comes back to you, it's hard. And so I feel like when you can share your dream with other people, when you get up the courage to do that, the ones that love you, that truly want to see you succeed, they'll help hold you to it. Not in a bad way, but they'll sort of get the pom-poms out when the going gets tough. And they'll be there in those moments of when you don't believe in yourself, they'll believe in you more. And they'll hold you to the standard that they know that you're worthy of, and what you're worthy of doing and capable of doing. And that's why I think it's so important.
So during those hard times when, you know, I think, yes, you have this big dream, you're going after it, you're making those connections, you're getting the rejection, you're moving a little forward at the same time. During those hard times, and now you've witnessed this yourself, you've actually gone through extremely difficult times and not knowing what was going to happen from one moment to the next. What do you do yourself to kind of get you through that, so you're thinking about, you know, this will happen? How do you keep going in those moments of hardship?
I try to step outside of myself and act as though I'm not me. And I literally think, okay, if I was my own client, what would I do with them? And so the minute I can get out of the drama or the emotion or the fear, then I can kind of brainstorm and mastermind a strategy to get me out of this place into the next place. But first I have a meltdown and I freak out because
you're human.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I call 3 of my friends and I try to get them to enroll in my, you know, my victimhood, and they're like, I'm not really buying it. Or they might for a little while, they're like, okay, enough, stop, change channels. So I really try. I mean, there's been a couple times in my life where I've had really, really hard things. My husband was very sick, almost died. I was in the real estate market hugely in 2008. And I just had to think about it. And I started with like, okay, what's the worst thing in my real estate situation? I lose it all and I have nothing to worry about. I start over. Wow. And it was just like, I almost had this sense of relief. And with my husband, it was, all right, what do we need to do to take responsibility to do what the doctors aren't saying? And I literally became the doctor's biggest nightmare, but I became this crazy person on a mission to get the right answer. So when someone says no, I just say next. Because no is just one person's opinion of wherever they are, from a conscious level, from a level of experience, maybe a level of judgment, maybe they care so much they think they don't want you to get hurt, whatever it is.
Right.
So it's really just about stepping outside, kind of really literally trying to have an out-of-body experience so I can coach myself along. And also surround myself with people who are willing to go that extra mile for me.
Well, one of the things that I got from your session, I mean, I got a lot of things, was about giving yourself permission to not only dream, but permission to fall down, permission to have those meltdowns, but also permission you need to get back up and go after it. So one of the things that I know a lot of people struggle with is the whole family dynamic and then the business aspect and the entrepreneurial aspect. They feel like they're sacrificing, for if they're at work and doing their job well, then they're thinking about their family, how they're not being there with their kids, especially people who travel. So talk to me about that dynamic. How does one feel like they have this huge, enormous dream, and they also want to be there for their children or for the family?
I think, it's really a personal choice. It really is. And for me, I was able to financially create a situation where I could travel and my kids had a nanny. But what I did too is I made sure that the person was paid really well. She was part of our family. She lived in a very small quarters with us at all times. I didn't want my kids to be having something that wasn't consistent.
Right.
And so I created a consistent environment for them. And then we talked about it. Mommy's going off to do this. And my kids would say, my mom makes chicken soup and my dad makes golf bags. And they never really knew what that was. And, but my husband and I never gave it a lot of energy. So it was just normal. And on top of that, for me, I had to learn then how, when I was gone, to be gone and be fully present versus when I was home, to be home and be fully present. Because I feel like it's a tug of war a lot for a lot of women, especially younger women. Mm-hmm. And I honestly believe, and I have 2 kids, and I have a lot of friends who joke with me and say, it's not fair, your kids are so good. I say, well, that's because I wasn't home to influence them. But, I kind of gave them permission, too, to believe in themselves, because I would have to go, my husband would be home, but I would say, I believe in you, and I know you can do this. And so I wasn't around a lot to say don't or you can't or those things. And I think at the end of the day, as hard as it was, it really did pay off. And I think the more we have a passion and a purpose, the more our kids see what that looks like, because so often kids don't see what that looks like. Yeah. They see parents being stuck in jobs they hate, coming home and complaining, drinking too much, eating too much, whatever it is. And this is a way of really, like, it's monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. And I feel like I did that. I hope I did that. And my boys say I did that. So far, so good. They're 17 and 20. And I know it's a stretch for people, and I just want to encourage your audience, just trust me on this one. I mean, it took me a lot of time, but I believe that if you believe in yourself and you really have a passion, that if you can show your kids what that looks like, they get to find their passion. And no parent wants anything more than for their kids to find their passion.
Thank you so much, Patty, for your service and all that you do and who you are. And I really look forward to getting to know you. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And I'm putting out there that I know that one day we'll be working together as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job, and you're awesome. You're a great example for women.
Oh, thank you. And quit making me cry, by the way.
You're so
you.
cute.
Oh, thank you.